Hey there, Wendy here with Jazzydoodledesigns, and today let's take a peek at my completed pages for April. So first off is one of my favorite books. I adore coloring in this book, Nooner Therapy by Diane DeFore. And as you can see by my tabs, I have colored quite a few. I did this one with my new friend Vicky. She and I have much in common, and this is what I love about the coloring community, is you meet people and you realize how many things maybe that you share common interests and friendships develop, and I love that so much. But I used Holbein pencils for mine, and I wanted to keep it pretty simple. So this is my page, and I will pop up on the page here Vicky's, and I just adore the polka dotted colorful image that she created. Look at that umbrella. I love it so much. And I love that even though they're the same page, they look totally different. And I think that's the gift of coloring. So that was first up. Now, chronologically, I did this one first, but this is the first page I've done in Romantic Country, the second tale. This was also a buddy color. This is with my good friend Christine. If you've been on my channel, you know we do a lot of buddy colors together, and we chose this page. And I used Pitt pen to base this, and then I went over it in colored pencil. I used Prismacolor pencils, and I used the Staedtler brush pens. I may have used a few, Faber-Castell Pitt pens. I mixed my two together, so, but the majority I think was actually the Staedtler pens. Now, I did add some shrubbery here. That is all completely on me. But let me show you Christine's page. She did a fantastic job. I love that we both chose pink in this. And even though they both had pink flowers, they just have a different feel and vibe, and I just really enjoy buddy colors because I love seeing the different creativity come to life. But anyway, this was in Romantic Country. This is the second tale, and I definitely will be working in the Erie books more this year. Okay, next up is A Million Baby Animals by Lulu Mayo. Now, I have a Facebook group, shameless plug. If you're interested in joining, all you got to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, answer 3 easy questions about what mediums you like to use, etc., and you're in. And we would love to have you there. It's a small, intimate group, and it's very supportive. It's very active. People are posting. It's fantastic. I love it so much. And they chose this book as on their own to do a group buddy color. So anybody that wants to be a part of this can join the group, and they're going to color a page. And each month a new person gets to choose the page. So it's a random drawing, and they chose this cover page for our first page. So we used this. I used a mix of pencils. It was whatever was on my desk. There was a lot going on in this page, and quite honestly, I absolutely hate how my little horse turned out here, but otherwise, overall, I like how it turned out. It's a busy page, but I think it turned out fine. So the next page that we're going to be doing in here is this page. this cute little chipmunk page. Now, this was chosen by someone, like I said, random draw, and we'll color that, and then another person will choose the next page. So I love how active the group is. Okay, next up is Fairy Tales and Folklore. This is also a buddy color. Now this is a group buddy color that I'm doing with a bunch of ladies and gentlemen. But Christine and I always kind of collab. we turn it into a buddy color within a buddy color, if that makes any sense. So this is the page that we did for April. And I used the Staedtler pens as a base for everything except for the sky and the bunny. I didn't base them, but the flowers and the ground and the leaves and everything were all based in the brush pens. And then I used Holbein colored pencils. Now, to be fair, I completed this kind of hurriedly because, as you know, I have a lot going on with my mom, and my mom is way more important, and so she gets my full attention, and then things like this get whatever's left over. And so I'll probably go back and use like some blending solution and try and blend out my sky. But you know what? I think it's fine as is. We color for fun, right? And while we always want our results to be our best efforts, sometimes we just need to get some color on the page. Do you ever feel that way? You just need to get some color on a page? But overall, I really like how this turned out. And I did put in this square to make a background because it didn't have one, and I just felt like I wanted one, but I really didn't want to do the whole page, so I just did this square. And it was a little bit of a challenge because the bunny is a little off-center, you know, with the flowers being over here, so it was kind of a challenge, but I like how it turned out. Okay, and then the last book that we're going to look at is this one, A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. Now, if you're new to the channel, I have been doing a gel crayon showdown where I have showcased, I think, 10 different gel crayons. We'll see. It'll be the number of pages that I colored in here. But each one of them, there's 4 videos up on the channel right now where I talk about the ultra budget ones. There's 3 of those. Budget ones or the mid-range, and I think there's 4 of those, and then 3 of the bougie ones. And then the 4th video compares all of them side by side, talks about the pros and cons, talks about, you know, more of a head-to-head, whereas the others were in the groups and a little more deeper dive. So if that interests you, that's up. But for each one of those, I colored a page in this book because I wanted it on the same paper. Do I make a mess with them? Yes. Okay, so the first one here is Distress Crayon. Now, I colored this entire image with Distress Crayon. The only thing I didn't was the little faces here, the bunny and the cat faces. I did those with an acrylic paint pen. Everything else is done in Distress Crayon. Next is Lyra. Now this page was done entirely with Lyra gel crayons, and I didn't even go back and give detail to the little critters with colored pencil, though you could. I didn't, just simply because I really liked the watercolor feel that I got from using these. And so I just left it that way, and I really like it. I think it turned out nice. Okay, next up is these 2 pages. Now, I jokingly called these the O crayon because it's like OUIBALACE or something like that. And I didn't know how to say that, so we just called them the O crayon. And then as soon as I said it, it made me laugh, so then we had to stick with it. But I colored this, the whole background and the ground here with those gel crayons. And then I used acrylic paint pen to do the metallic, the gold and silver for the instruments, and then acrylic paint pen for the flowers because I was kind of messy. And so colored pencil really wasn't going to cut it. And like I said, because I've got a lot going on with my mom, I haven't went back and done huge amounts of detail because this project was more about the backgrounds. This one was done with Shuttle Art gel crayon. And then the acrylic for the leaves and flowers. Okay. Next up is, oh, let me put these back in. Eye crayon. Now, I had bought, eye crayon comes in a tin, and they have a classic color version, and then they have what's called the Europe version, which has a lot more moodier, muted colors. Now, I did try and keep the backgrounds similar with blues so that it could be a little more apples to apples, but anyway, I did not buy the classic set just simply because I had bought a lot of other gel crayons that had a lot of those colors. So I did that, and then I used colored pencil for, actually I used the Arctic's paint pens and then a little bit of colored pencil for some shading. But the background is done in the eye crayon. Okay. Next up, on this side is Zeyar, Zeyar. These are called Bible highlighters, but I love the palette. It has these pastel, tertiary colors. They're muted. They're beautiful. I love it so much. And I thought they did a fantastic job of blending out. I enjoyed working with them. They're a little on the smushy side. And I colored, I think, pretty much everything with them. And then I did the highlights with pencil. Okay. And then on this side, this was done with Mr. Pen gel crayons. And I just did the background. I did the gray and the blue with the Mr. Pen. And Mr. Pen only had one blue because I bought the small kit. And then I did the rest with colored pencil. Okay. And then next up is Mungio. This is, the background's all done with the Mungio gel crayons. And I really like how this turned out. I used a little bit of green and the turquoises in with that blue. And then I did the rest of this with colored pencil. I very much enjoyed using the Mungio. Okay. Next up is King Art. And with the King Art, I did the moon and the background with the King Art. And these two were easy to use. And then just colored pencil for all the detail. And I like how that page turned out. Okay, and then the last one, this one was done with Neocolor 2s. And I used a metallic, I think it was a Jelly Roll. You know the clear one that has the shimmer? I think it was that one. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry, because I don't either. But anyway, and then just colored pencil here. Okay, a little Posca pen for the highlights. So I think I got them all. But that made quite a dent in this little book. Okay, that's going to do it for this month's coloring. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the Facebook group. And if you want to have even more snark, you can be a part of the membership. And all of that is going to be in the description box below. And until next time, happy coloring. Thank you for watching another video from Jazzydoodledesigns. If you'd like even more Jazzydoodle and a little more snark, please check out the membership below. If you're looking for a community where you can share your work and chat with other fellow colorists in a safe and welcoming environment, hit the subscribe button to Jazzydoodledesigns and then look for Jazzydoodledesigns Coloring Community on Facebook. And there you can join a group of fellow colorists to talk all things coloring and share cute pet pictures. I hope to see you there. And until next time, happy coloring.